Now, activist and author Zoleka Mandela will be buried at the Fourways Memorial Park north of Johannesburg today. Her funeral service will take place at the Bryanston Methodist Church this morning. The granddaughter of the late former President Nelson Mandela and his former wife Winnie Madikizela-Mandela succumbed to cancer on Monday at age 43. Zoleka survived by 4 children. SABC News reporter Griselda Lewis joins us live now at the funeral. Good morning, Griselda. I'm sure it's a very somber mood there. We understand that the body has arrived at the church. Just talk us through what's happening now.
Nomfundo, a very somber moment indeed. Correctly, as you pointed out, the body of Zoleka Mandela has already arrived here at the Bryanston Methodist Church, and this is where the service is expected to get underway any moment now. Some of the mourners have already arrived here. The families have also arrived here at the house. And amongst those who are also in attendance, you would know, of course, that this is a private ceremony that is taking place, so the media is not allowed inside at this particular time. However, the service will get underway here, and from here, she is expected to be laid to rest at the Fourways Memorial Park. You would know, of course, that is next to some of the other family members of hers that have passed on, amongst those that are also in attendance here this morning, amongst the family, also to pay tribute to the author as well as the cancer activist, is the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, as well as EFF leader Julius Malema, who is also in attendance here to stand side by side with the family in this moment of grief. But what we've heard over the past a couple of days is tributes being paid to an incredible woman who was brave, as she's been described. You'd know that she'd been battling with cancer for a very long time, and the manner in which those who have spoken say she's managed to remain resilient and even continue to inspire others to fight on is what Zoleka Mandela did until the end. We're expecting in just a moment the service itself to get underway also here inside. Nkosi Zwelivelile Mandela as well, senior member of the family, also here today. And people are still trickling in here to pay tribute to her. A lot of her work pertaining to the fight against cancer is very much of what has been documented. You'd also know this is contained in a book that she had written about her struggles with cancer. And I think many of the sentiments that are also being shared at this time, many are asking, what about her children? You would know that she leaves behind very young children, and many concerns have been raised about this fight she fought for her children. These are what mourners have been telling us over the past couple of days. And you would see here just behind me, there, a portrait of the late Zoleka Mandela being put just right next to the entrance of the church here as well. Some of the other family members just putting final touches to what will be her final send-off here. You'd see some of the daughters-in-law very emotional here this morning, right at the entrance there. Lindo Mandela, who is one of the daughters-in-law here of the Mandelas, incredibly emotional this morning. I guess this is to them what is that moment of reckoning, that moment that puts finality to the passing of Zoleka Mandela, she being consoled by other members of the Mandela family. An author, a cancer activist, and those who even worked with her, Nomfundo, also tell us about such bravery. Resilience are the words that I have used. You'd also see there EFF leader Julius Malema was accompanied by Advocate Dalim Pofu. You would see his son also here now. Dr. Sizwe Mpofu Walsh, together with his mother, also entering the service at this particular time. What looks to be now mourners taking their seats. We can only but presume here from the outside that the service itself is about to get underway. The media, of course, not being allowed into the service. So we have managed to, over the past few days, speak to family members. Yesterday we spoke to Zwelabo Mandela, who is Zoleka Mandela's brother, and he spoke about, very much of the story that she told of her struggle with cancer and how public she was about that. He tells us, even as a sister, she was just as transparent. What we saw on social media, what we saw as the person who documented so publicly her struggles, is the very same person that she was when she was all right. I'm going to see also here, I'm going to point towards this direction, it seems, Nomfunda, in just a second. The ANC's Nomvula Mokonyane also arriving for the service here this morning. She will, of course, walk right through here, also part to pay tribute and stand side by side with the family, embraced by Judy Nonkwedi. These are just some senior members of the ANC that are here to be with the family during this difficult time. As I indicated, it's not just her who is here. There's also Panyaza Lesufi, who is the Gauteng Premier, as well as the EFF leader Julius Malema, who is also part of the dignitaries who are here to stand side by side. You would also recall that the Sisulus as well as the Mandelas were incredibly close, and yesterday part of those who paid tribute to Zoleka Mandela were also Lindiwe Sisulu. At the memorial service yesterday, she spoke about the resilience, and she also said, as someone who herself was diagnosed with cancer, you would know, of course, who just walked in, the first Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress. The first Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress, Nomvula Mokonyane, arriving for the funeral proceedings here at the Bryanston Methodist Church. From what I'm hearing at the point where I am standing, some hymns now being sung inside, and the funeral service itself is expected to get underway. I'll just talk to you very briefly about what we were expecting to unfold here this morning in terms of the program, since you will not see much of that this morning. We're expecting tributes to be paid by amongst other individuals. I'll move towards this particular direction and walk you through what the program is likely to look like, but the funeral program on it, as it's expected to get underway, there will of course be some tributes that will be paid by the children, the nephews, as well as the nieces, and a poem reading by Zizikazi Madiba, and the eulogy we are expecting to be read by Zondwa Mandela. This as mourners continue to enter here